if you're using vibe coding tools, you're aware that they don't really work without a planning mode. So this was one of my thesis when about a year back, I was working in a startup and we wanted to pivot, and I was getting into vibe coding tools, V0, Cursor, and whatnot. And after using them for about a week or two, I came to the conclusion that without planning, they don't work. And for our startup to pivot, I made this prototype, although the startup shut down, but this was well received from the founders and the team members and our VC. So just thought I'll just make a quick video of what this idea was, although this is not in production, this is mocked prototype, but a fun one. And as you can see, I started this about a year back. So let's get into a full prototype mode. So I named it TARS, inspired by the TARS robot from Interstellar. But what essentially these AI tools are supposed to do is, this is an assisted rapid shipping tool. So it made sense, the full form abbreviation of it also came together. So let's jump into what the vision was for the product like this. And I'm still yet to see a company attempt or go this route. And of course, this is just one of the UXs, but I thought it's pretty interesting. So right now, when you start with any vibe coding tool, it asks you to give you a prompt and it just starts building. And in most of my experience, they just build random output stuff. And then later down the line, of course, it gives you some stuff, but later you have to tweak a lot of the stuff to get to something desirable. And there are steps to this. So first of all, you type in a prompt. Let's say you want to build a small link in bio tool, but the output has some nuances here. So when you click get started in this product, it doesn't start building. It asks you some follow-up to start generating some context around this prompt for you. So it first asks you that, hey, what's your main goal with this project? Is this a quick mop? Is it a personal tool, professional work, internal tool? And then basis on that, it can generate very contextual prompts. So let's say I'm going to go with a quick mockup to quickly validate idea with a basic version. So I say continue. Then second question is going to ask me is how complete do you want this project will be? And this is important because basis on some projects are required to be shipped tomorrow, some in a week, some in a month. And basis on the timeline, you inject functionality. So some are mock levels, some needs authentication, some needs payment gateway. So what kind of functionality you're looking at? So let's say we are just going to say basic prototype and continue. And then the final thing it'll ask is, what's your timeline like? Even if you want to say, do a basic prototype, what's your timeline looks like? So I'm going to say in the next few hours. And then basis on, you can also tweak this, go back and tweak everything else. So let's say we're going to submit this. Now TARS here is still not going into build mode. It is still in plan mode, and it is generating a project plan for us. And remember, so I did this when no Cursor or V0 or any other tool was doing this. And my insights were that you must have a PRD to begin with. And I was bang on that insight, because now I'm seeing Cursor after 6 months of ideating on this a year back. I saw Cursor after 7 or 8 months come up with a planning function. So in TARS, when you complete all that, so it gives you a modular approach to things. So it gives you what your project list looks like. I will zoom out a little. So in your project checklist, it will show you, okay, if you're building this link in bio tool, you would need a landing page, you'll need a user profile, auth, main dashboard, the analytics dashboard, premium features. So let's go through one of them very quickly. It is supposed to, because these are very, very smart LLMs, they can give you the estimated time to implement this with help of AI, and what's the difficulty level, what's the duration for this subsection of a landing page. Then what are the features it's going to build, why it is needed, some information for a noob. Let's say somebody is creating for the first time, impact if skipped. Then these contexts are important, right? As a builder, you would want to know if you are skipping landing pages, this section or that section, what's the impact? Then what are the key considerations you should do? So these things, I feel that instead of pushing the user directly into a build state, you made them think about the product. And ultimately, if you can get a PRD from their input, you would end up creating a better output for them. So you can expand to all of these and understand in detail in TARS. And let's say you are pretty fine with the module that it has told you about. At the end, this is something that a lot of tools still don't do, is show me a user flow journey for the app that I'm building or the project that I'm building. And this is very visual way of learning about your project. And then a basic timeline overview, you give that out. And then what are the cost considerations about this project? Let's say if I want to go live, these are all things that LLMs can do today, and there are public knowledge about all of this, like what's the domain registration going to cost, what are the development tools I will be using, will this project going to cost me $50, $100, or $200 later down the line, so what are the surprises in this. So all of this can be generated before you even go into the build state, and this is very helpful as a builder. And what would be my monthly operating cost currently if I just start with this? What's my total estimate? And then finally, overview of what the project entails. And I went a step further. And for example, the tool it would be interesting to see what the tool is about to give me in terms of market analysis, because a lot of builders are super excited about building stuff, but they don't know how to market it. So again, there are typical marketing playbooks which everybody should attempt and see what sticks, and you double down on what works. It's a basic playbook of marketing. So let's say if I say yes, it goes out on the web, does its research about the product and the marketing tactics out in the world, and then it gives me a complete analysis of what are the market leaders, what are they known for, things like these, and what could be our differentiator. So here you can click ask to TARS, chat about your one of the components here, and go back and forth. But for simplicity's sake, let's say we don't want to do marketing analysis for now, so we'll skip that. And we click started the build phase, and it still is building things modularly. What do I mean by that? So instead of starting to build everything all at once, which is where I have seen that they screw up a lot, it builds step by step, and wherever it needs input, it pauses and gives me a visual aspect to review on. Here's what I mean. First of all, on the left, there's chat. On the center, you can still talk to it. I think now that I've come to use cursor more and more in V0, I would have moved this on the left. But let's say it built the hero section that we reviewed and said, yes, please do that. Then it built the feature section. But when it came to build pricing plans, it immediately understood that in pricing, if somebody goes on the pricing page, clicks on buy, it would need some Stripe integration. So it went ahead and paused it there and said Stripe integration is required, and you would need to give me Stripe secret key, and there are steps to how to get to the Stripe keys. And this is again one of the things that I noticed working with the tools back then about a year, is that they tell you what you need to bring back in the app, but it doesn't tell you how. So I always ended up asking, hey, tell me how do I get these API keys or these access tokens from this provider? And I feel that these are still readily available. LLMs can scrape and surface these here. So why not just give the user a pretty to go through, and user can continue from this and keep building on top of it. And then the other part of this was back then there was no visual editor, and I felt with V0 specifically, I had to go back in code and ask it to make this a text bolder, make this from 60px to 68px, things like these. So I thought, and then I've been a designer for 13 years, and Figma does this beautifully, Framer does this beautifully, so why not bring the visual editing here? And now I'm seeing V0 has implemented this, so you can just go in here and change the font size to 80 and save it, right? So it's very visual. You can tweak things manually on the canvas, and you don't have to talk to the code if you are not comfortable there. And then you always have an overall summary, right, at your disposal, like what is the progress you have made through this app. That's a small UX vision that I had for a platform which is helping the builder think through the project and not running into outputting stuff. But of course, in a year, LLMs have become very, very good in understanding context and suggesting stuff and building stuff. But I thought this was a very fun project that I did. And because of this, we pivoted and tried building this, but that didn't work out. So I thought, why not just publish this out on the internet and show you all the cool stuff I've done in my previous life as an employee. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll put this up on YouTube. If you want to access it in the post that I share, it will have a Vercel link.